go. Here we go. Let's get this going. Checking out some stuff here. Looking at some TikToks. YouTube. Just kind of hanging out. That being said, let's just get right into some good stuff here. Here. These are all pretty fascinating. I guess each one is worth looking at. Here's the next one.
Did you know that most people think our solar system moves like this? In schools, we were taught that the planets simply orbit around the sun while it stays still. But that's completely wrong. In reality, our sun is racing through space at an incredible speed of 828,000 kilometers per hour, and it's not stationary at all. Instead, it's orbiting a supermassive black hole called Sagittarius A, which lies at the very center of our Milky Way galaxy. Just like Earth orbits the sun, our sun is completing its own journey. And this journey is massive. It takes about 225 to 250 million years to finish just one orbit. We call this a galactic year, but here's the shocking part. The planets don't actually orbit the sun in neat little circles, because the sun is moving forward through space. The planets are pulled along with it, following a helical spiral path. It's like a cosmic vortex, twisting and stretching as we travel across the galaxy, which means right now, as you're watching this video, you are moving through space at an unimaginable speed without even realizing it. And if you've watched this far, you're probably wondering, what's the proof? What's the actual scientific reason we know the solar system moves this way? Well, I'll break that down in the next part. So stay tuned, drop your questions in the comments, and you'll get your...
I think we're going to get any answer.
This is the future of AI-powered stores. What you're seeing is a coffee shop, but it's not just any shop. Because
just wait, AI's going to take over all the
running 24/7 in all their cameras. You see those green boxes? Each one of those is a customer, and the AI is monitoring how long each person has been sitting in the cafe. But here's what's crazy. It's also monitoring the workers. You can see it's tracking their movement with those squiggly lines and their productivity, like how many drinks each person has served per hour. The software is called NeuroSpot, and it uses AI and machine learning to live track and analyze humans in physical stores. Now, of course, as a customer, my immediate reaction is shock and fear. It feels super weird to know you're being tracked everywhere you go. But as a business owner, having access to this level of real-time analytics could be super valuable. For example, if you ran a buffet, this software could immediately detect which areas were less popular, so you knew how to rotate the menu. Or if you ran a hardware store, you could study which aisles people linger the longest as a signal for confusion in signage and layouts. There are endless applications for this type of data. Not to mention CCTV AI, it'd be a lot harder to steal stuff. But the real reason this is so valuable is that this footage is going to be used to train robots. The best way for robots to learn is to watch humans complete the same task over and over. And because of that, I would not be shocked to see this type of AI camera software start popping up everywhere. This is the future of...
It's definitely going to pop up everywhere.
A completely shocking discovery. Elvis's ex-girlfriend is now Bob Joyce's wife. After their son appeared, it sparked even more discussion among netizens. This has made Bob Joyce's true identity even more mysterious and eerie. Prior to this, people had already been speculating about Bob's striking resemblance to Elvis and his innate musical talent. Anyone who has heard Bob sing is convinced that his voice is almost identical to Elvis's. Some staff members have even stated that Bob's sons have played important roles in managing Elvis's estate. One of his sons, Matt, can even wear the high-neck shirt Elvis used to wear, and it fits perfectly. Elvis once said he felt embarrassed about his long neck, so he habitually wore high-neck clothing. Another son, Skunik, was found to possess some of Elvis's personal items and intellectual property. Although Skunik doesn't resemble Elvis as much as Matt does, he also admires and respects Elvis greatly. All these details suggest that their relationship is far from simple, and speculation about their connection continues to spread. What do you think about this situation? Feel free to share your thoughts. A completely shocking discovery. Elvis's ex-girlfriend is now Bob Joyce's wife. After their son appeared...
I wonder what's going on with this one. I don't know. I might switch over here. Go to some YouTube.
To meet you. You're recommended to me by some people. Hey, is this illegal?
Let's look at the photo. You say that's me? Okay. Check out the name badge. It says Aldrin. Looks like you're right. But notice the helmet. Can you see my face? No. This is a secret I've been keeping for almost half a century. On July 20th. 1969, Neil Armstrong and I pulled off humanity's first extraterrestrial prank.
What was the scariest moment of the journey?
He didn't go. It didn't go. Let's check this out.
Still, there are no leads on the 3 missing police officers. The commissioner had this to say.
I got the best people working on it, but the trails run cold.
The district attorney has launched multiple investigations with no results. Every night this team of Gotham citizens have taken to the streets in the candlelight vigil in hopes they will find them. If you have any information, please contact me. Holy shit!
An uninvited guest.
You enjoy stealing innocence. You get off.
This was made about 4 years ago, but it's really good.
Cream cake. The girls, my Alice's, seem to enjoy it.
Never again.
Please don't leave me here. Please. Please.
He's got the Arkham Knight suit.
You're needed for a briefing.
Hey, give me a minute, would you?
Speak first.
Bullock, what do you want?
Hey, you showed up. How's it hanging there, Bats?
I don't have any time for your lack of candor, Bullock. Talk.
You think I enjoy coming up here in the middle of the night? Freezing my butt off? Just because Gordon's in the hospital? I got real cases. I got actual things to do. 3 of my men are missing, and you know what? I'm gonna find out where they are, one way or another. I don't really have a lot of extra time to babysit freak in a cape, flying around the city pretending to be a superhero. You know, just because Gordon respects you doesn't mean I have to, right?
It goes both ways.
Listen, you know what? I have some good news for you. The pasty-faced clown is, dying.
Anything else?
Well, he's demanding to see you, of course. I mean, you guys, spent most of your life together, right? I thought maybe you'd be excited. There'd be a little celebration from your side of things. No, as far as I'm concerned, one of you madness dwellers is getting exactly what you deserve.
Death of the Joker, nothing to celebrate.
Yeah, it is.
All I'm saying is that somebody should have pulled the trigger on him a long time ago.
Well, you're the one with a gun and a license to kill.
Yeah. Well, don't tempt me there, man.
Yeah, do it. And you'll see exactly how deep this well of madness can run.
Bullock, we're still waiting on you.
Excuse me. Listen, I thought I told you to give me a minute. Anyway. Hey, Bats!
He's like behind a corner.
Hugo, I'm on my way. Transfer Joker from his cell to the recreation room.
I see you spoke to Lieutenant Bullock. I would have reached out to you personally, but I have no way of contacting you directly.
As it should be.
Good evening to all. This is Dr. Hugo Strange. This announcement is regarding tonight's schedule. Due to a code B27, dinner and all night activities will be delayed until further notice. Mandatory lockdown is in effect. Staff on sub-level 6, please be extra cautious. That is all.
It's like the game Arkham Asylum. He goes to see Joker. For some reason, all the inmates get out.
But everyone else uses it.
There's a whole road down. Harley, saw Freeze earlier. Dad.
That Harley, he walked right past you. That's another man in Arkham who doesn't respect you.
Killer Croc. He's locked them all up.
Easy now there. Watch the fingers. Ooh, kinky. I like it. Yes, get these off of me.
It's all yours. The safety of citizens that take place across cities and in front of people.
An increasingly dangerous situation.
This moment, it was supposed to take place on the Gotham Bridge, or the old water reserve, or Jerry's abandoned circus, televised for millions to see. It wasn't supposed to end like this.
What do you want?
I'm dying. Melanoma.
Well, I guess that acid bath wasn't too funny, was it?
The night we first met.
Melanoma.
With all my close calls. Skin cancer. The humor is not lost on me. I guess dying is easy.
Yeah, and comedy is hard. Why am I here?
That's a great question. I want you to finish what you started. I want you, Batsy, to kill me, not the cancer. Our legacy is too grand to end with a whimper. It must be epic. It must be gut-wrenching. You have nothing to say. I just told you that I'm dying. This is it, the final confrontation. After all we've been through, this is our final soliloquy.
I don't care about our legacy.
You're a coward. You won't kill me because you're afraid. Not because of some high moral code or your one rule. It's because without me, you can't justify your own existence.
You're right. I am afraid. I'm afraid of myself. That once I murder, I'll like the taste of it. And then I'll kill every single inmate at Arkham Asylum. But you need me. Freeze has Nora. Poison Ivy has her environmental cause. And Riddler has his puzzles. But you have nothing. Without me, you become your worst fear. And that's being upstaged by everyone here.
I am the king of this asylum. See my crown? It sparkles in the bitter glow of twilight. See, Batsy, I am the one thing that you are not. You've spent your whole life fighting crime, night after night. Dead sidekick after dead sidekick. And for what? You're utterly miserable. Afraid of the one thing that could possibly bring you joy. See, I am completely and genuinely happy. I wake up every morning with a great big smile.
Hope's a gamble. Hope lacks certainty. And this city knows all too well what hopelessness.
Not too bad.
Scariest. It didn't happen. It could have been scary.
Why has nobody
It could have been scary.
such a long time?
And what if our Earth isn't flat like most think? It's not even spherical like NASA is trying to convince us. And in fact, our world consists of many other worlds, and we live in one of the 170 cells. The supporters of this theory even have their own globe, where our world is covered with a dome and surrounded by a wall of ice. If we believe this theory, Antarctica is not just a continent as we know it.
I haven't convinced you that Antarctica isn't a continent, but an ice wall that surrounds our level, flat realm? Well, stick around. We're going to get into it a little more, and hey, that's a funny name for an island. Let's start by looking at this little-known fact. Do you know that Antarctica is the highest continent on Earth? The average elevation is 8,200 feet. That's pretty interesting. Not only is it the highest, but it's the highest by a landslide, by over 1,000 feet. Now, why would that be? Could it be that you're living on something like this, where water lays level like it always does, and it's surrounded by a container known as Antarctica? You need to ask yourself, have you been programmed to believe something that isn't true? Because we always see that water lays level. It never looks like this, no matter how far you can see straight out or left or right, water is always level. And did you know in 1946, the United States government sent a fleet of Navy ships down to the Antarctic ice wall and not continent in a little operation called Operation High Jump? That's a curious name for a continent.
Who blazed the way for Operation High Jump, the great expedition of 1946-47.
I haven't convinced you that Antarctica isn't a continent, but an ice wall that surrounds our level, flat.
This guy has an incredible superpower. Time freezes when he stays totally still, facing bullets shot by foes. He doesn't panic one bit because so long as he doesn't move, the bullets can't harm him. After a second's thought, he ducks fast, successfully taking down the enemy behind him. Staring at the gun frozen midair, the guy snatches it.
It's like the game's super hot.
Whoa, it's out of ammo. He has to toss the gun aside. Then takes the knife from the foe's hand, planning to kill with a borrowed knife. Now it's the foe's turn to panic. Another one taken out easily, just as he's feeling smug. The guy's eyes widen, staring hard at the missile in front of him. This thing is heat-seeking. Even Noah Lyles couldn't outrun it. The foe across from him looks triumphant, seemingly sure the guy is doomed. But he gets an idea and plans to call for help.
Siri, call my BFF.
The call goes through successfully, but because he's standing still, his wife on the other end can't reply. With no other choices, the guy hangs up fast, only to see the missile draw closer.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. It's gonna go boom, bitch.
Then the guy has a sudden idea. If he stays still forever, won't the missile never reach him? So he decides to stand his ground and outlast the soldiers. Time frozen forever. No one goes hungry. No one grows old. No one wages war. That doesn't sound so bad, but he never expected. He sneezes.
Let's go.
This guy has an incredible superpower. Time freezes when he stays totally...
So the Air Force admits they went 80,000 years into the future, and what did they find? Walking, talking octopus. And humans, but no longer humans. Let's talk about it. So Richard Doty, who's on the Office of Special Investigations for the Air
years
Force,
into the future,
stated that in the 70s and the 80s,
That's
they
crazy.
decided they were going to try to go into the future. 80,000 years into the future. And when they did that, they found out that when they got there, that there was no longer just one Earth, but there were actually 6 Earths in different globes where Earth should have been. Now, why did they do this? Maybe for protection, maybe Earth exploded and recreated itself, but they were inside of like protected bubbles. Now, when they got there, they went down to one of the Earths. They talked with the humans at those Earths. Those humans were more robotic than our humans, and we couldn't understand them. It was 80,000 years in the future. We can barely understand Shakespeare, and that was 400 years in the past. So they talked to these humans. They were more robotic. They seemed transhuman, meaning they incorporated robotic characteristics into their society. And they also looked at the planet. And when they looked at the planet, they saw that there were walking, talking octopi. The octopus had come out of the ocean, started to walk on the beach, and they were nomadic. They were tribal. They would travel from place to place, and they would live along the beach. Very, very fascinating story. If you want to hear more, I'll do another TikTok about it. But what do you think? Do you think this actually happened? These people...
Are there any math geniuses out there? Apparently, if you just move one match from one location to the other, it's supposed to make this equation make sense. But I can't figure it out. Are there any math geniuses out there? Apparently, if you just...
Pause it here, take a look. 6 plus 4 equals 4. You just move 1. Yep. Take this one here, 5 plus 4. Put it up here, equals 9.
Have you heard the French president theory?
French president? No, what happened with the French president?
You know Candace Owens?
Yeah.
She did a huge deep dive.
On what?
A huge deep dive trying to prove that the wife of the president of France is actually a man. And not only a man, but actually his father. Check this out. Check this out. So Candace Owens looked into it. Crazy amounts, right? Now, Candace Owens got her information from somebody that was fleeing France and pretty much trying to like escape the 21st century because they're hiding their identity because they're getting threats or whatever about this information. Now, theory goes that the president of France, his wife, isn't actually a real person. It's his dad that transitioned.
What?
Yeah. Now, what's crazy is people tried looking and researching to all of the different schools that his wife went to, and they all came out with no information, no proof that she ever existed.
So she just wiped her information.
Not she.
Oh no, he wiped.
Yeah. So the theory is that to keep something out in the bloodline, or to maybe they fell in love. The father transitioned to a woman and became his wife.
For what reason? Just for like the riches and stuff?
No
like
clue.
the power?
No clue.
No, it has to be for the power, dog. I'm not gonna
have no clue. Like ask Candace Owens.
Yeah.
Have you heard the French president theory?
French.
Antarctica. It's official. There's nothing down there. You can clearly see this water is empty, and hence the rest of the continent must be as well. Like, is that a... Nah. There's no way. It's definitely just a case of pareidolia. You know, the human tendency to see faces in everyday things. Despite dozens of retired Navy officers who were stationed in Antarctica coming out and exposing what they really saw down there. Because, of course, who could forget about this pyramid-shaped mound under the snow, cut with incredible precision and perfectly aligned with northeast-southwest. But, oh, it's just a mountain for sure. There's a lot more like this, so I guess guess it's just a common natural rock formation down there. Even aerial shots irrefutably prove they're just normal mountain ranges. How dare we even suggest that there might be something more going on in Antarctica? Here we have a satellite photo of some sort of disk that appears to have crashed and 4 other large objects surrounding it. Some claim it's a UFO crash site surrounded by some sort of surveillance units, but it's clearly just a, a near-perfect triangle, also with a crash-landed appearance with an oddly familiar shape. Nah, there's no way. Yet another disc shape up in the Antarctic mountains, and yeah, Antarctica. It's official. There's nothing down there. You can clearly see this water.
I want to speculate on something here that most of you will probably think I'm crazy for, but if they have robots that are this good, and I know, probably as much as you know, that they have technology way, way better than they let us see, well then, what's better than this? I'll get to that in a second, but first what you need to know is they practice their technology on us and see if we're smart enough to know that
they practice it.
So when they use their holograms
uses like
different
puppets.
ways,
See how
they
it works
know if
out.
we're going to be able to tell the difference or not. And now back to our what could possibly be better robotic technology than that, because that looks pretty good. And let me first start off by saying what it's not. It's not this. A lot of people thought this was real, but that is just a woman playing the part and doing a really good job. But that's what they also like to do, muddy the waters, so we don't know the difference. Here's where the speculation comes in. I've done some videos on these guys, but this isn't that type of video where I say one is playing the other. Oh no, this is the video where I say, I think Keanu is literally a robot in this premiere of Sonic the Hedgehog. Why don't we first listen to what Jim has to say about playing this role?
Now, a lot of people said you should do this.
I want to speculate on something here that most of you will probably think I'm crazy.
Do you know who the first president of the USA was? Do you know who the first president of the USA was?
George Floyd. I mean, his name is George, though. I just don't know the last
Washington. How many inches are in 2 feet?
I don't know.
Around how many inches? If you had to guess. 5? Yes. If you're walking north and then all of a sudden you turn right, what direction are you facing?
So if I'm going... Say that again real quick.
You're walking north and then you just make a hard right. What direction are you facing? 90 degrees to the right.
Is it south? No, it's not south. West?
Yes. Do you know who the first president of the USA was?
So funny.
I'm from outer space. I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gold, I've been far away. I'm illuminated, I'll make a move, start a waves. I've been dreaming of my flying for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they want the coastline. Artificially intelligent way, I'm your future, present, present, I'm a fine line. Yeah, I'm a missing of this illusion. I am not really here, I'm an intrusion. I don't feel safe.
Why do you think the ancient Egyptians needed to carve 7 inches deep for some of these artifacts? What sort of tools were they storing in here? All of this looks alien to me. The only thing that I recognize is the Ankh up top, the real cross, the Egyptian Ankh. If you wear the Christian cross, that means that, you're brainwashed because this is the real cross. But what is this? What are they holding here? Why do they have to be 7 inches deep? Let me know what you think.
Which one is a girl? Trust your gut feeling.
Oh, this one.
Answer. Intuition test. Don't overthink. Trust
Right.
your gut. Which one is man's eye?
That one.
Answer.
Oh, yeah.
Who hates you secretly? Answer. Which light bulb will go out? Answer. Which number between 2 and 80 is behind this butterfly?
36.
Answer. What color is her hair? Answer. Which number between 13 and 23 is hidden behind this book? Answer. Which one is a girl?
Let me know if you got them, any of them right.
New Zealand to Argentina. Ready? New Zealand to Argentina. It goes all the way up to San Francisco, Texas, and Argentina. Look at it on a flat Earth map. It's a straight line.
You're blowing my mind here.
Thanks, Will.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay.
New Zealand to Argentina. Ready? New Zealand to Argentina. It goes all the way up to San Francisco, Texas, and Argentina. Look at it on a flat Earth map. It's a straight line.
You're blowing my mind here.
Thanks, Will.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay.
New Zealand.
What it's like to live with a hole in my hand. Hello everyone, my name is Gabriel, and I was born with a congenital condition in my hand that resulted in a hole in my palm. And I know what you perverts are thinking. I don't do that, okay? Okay?
It looks like a
Without
green
fully
screen.
developed tendons, I have limited movement in some fingers. I can't really articulate my pinky, my ring, and middle finger, but it doesn't stop me from trying to play the piano.
I think it's fake. Yeah.
This ripoff of Harry Potter is 42 hours long, and it steals everything from the entire franchise with little to no visual effects budget. The show is called Alpha, and it opens with a disclaimer that translates to any similarities in this story to characters and places are purely coincidental. So it definitely doesn't take place at fake Hogwarts, or have characters equivalent to Harry, Snape, Malfoy, or my personal favorite, Hairless Hagrid.
Hello, Alpha.
So it should come as no surprise that Alpha lives under the stairs, doesn't realize that he's a wizard till he gets invited to magic school. Then when his uncle and aunt find out, they rip up the invitation. And then a flock of poorly rendered birds invade their house to drop off hundreds more. And that's not even the whole first episode. There's literally 40 more hours of this. So WandaVision just set up the Fantastic Four, and did you know that Agatha's
And the earth takes shape like clay under a seal. Job 3814. The truth is always in plain sight. The Bible was correct. The earth is flat. And the earth takes shape like clay under a seal. Job 3814.
I don't know. Maybe. What?
Ow! Jesus!
So stupid.
Somebody once told me the
Hey! He just fucked up the whole kitchen. He just messed up the whole kitchen.
Most Americans have no clue that the burgers and sausages they're eating might actually be made from crushed up bones. Factories pay top dollar for chicken bones, which get dumped into giant crushers and turned into a gray, mushy paste with a really strong, nasty smell. But that's just the start. They add all kinds of chemical flavorings and seasonings to make it smell like tasty grilled beef. Then they throw in coloring and thickening agents to dye the paste bright red so it looks just like fresh meat. After that, this meat gets mixed up in huge machines, pressed into perfectly shaped burger patties using molds, and cooked at high heat until they get that golden brown crust you'd expect. They look exactly like real beef patties, and when you add the bun, cheese, and toppings, they turn into some seriously tempting burgers. But the truth is, what you're biting into could be fake meat, made from bone powder and chemicals. Behind that golden, juicy-looking exterior, it's really just ground-up bones and additives. So next time you take a bite of a burger, are you really sure it's all meat?
Not anymore. Alright, here we go. What month were you born? Ew. Some of them are gross. I wouldn't want to do ramen noodles. The lava one seems nice. Probably nice and warm. June was at McDonald's. They're gross. July. Is that glass? Oh no, July people. August. You got it going on. Is it cotton candy? So September is the worst one. Sucks. Sorry, September. This is trash. I don't get that one. Oh, hell yeah. Where are my November people at? Sleeping gold. December people is sleeping air. Oh, I can't believe I sat through that whole thing. That was cool though. AI's getting pretty good. Speaking of AI. AI's getting too good. He gets paid.
Did you know a Roman emperor's private journal from 1800 years ago became the blueprint for modern pandemic management? Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome during the Antonine Plague, which killed 10% of the empire's population. While millions died around him, he wrote his famous Meditations, creating the first pandemic leadership framework. His approach was pure stoicism: accept what you cannot control, focus only on your response, and maintain virtue during chaos. He implemented quarantine procedures, organized medical supply distribution, and kept troop morale high using these exact principles. In his journal, he wrote, "Death smiles at us all, but all a man can do is smile back and focus on the present moment in your duty within it." Fast forward to 2020, and world leaders unknowingly followed his playbook perfectly. Lockdowns, supply chain management, public communication strategies, all mirror his ancient methods. The most shocking
man
part,
right there.
Modern crisis management experts discovered his writings only after implementing nearly identical responses. A Roman emperor's personal thoughts during humanity's darkest hour became our modern survival guide.
Explain how a black hole sun and a black rock can exist simultaneously. How can there be a hole and a mountain in the same spot? It's a great question, bro. I'm glad you brought that up. I was wanting to cover this anyway, so we're going to jump right into it. Okay. Cosmic Familia, before we jump into the video, I just want to thank everybody for being here. I hope everyone is in good health and good spirit. Please don't forget to like, comment on the video to move the algorithm around, and share this with someone who's interested in the case. But what we need to understand is that the black sun is not really like a sun like we think of the solar sun in the sky, like a celestial body, right? The black sun is just the material terminology that was given to this cosmic entity, and that name has been given to it for thousands of generations, for as long as we know, and we still use the same terminology today. It's just the best thing that we have, the black sun. Secondly,
so we got the Earth field, the Mars field.
Comprehend where the black sun,
the Jupiter field,
EMF wavelength spectrum.
And then the Saturn
okay,
field.
So in general, the electromagnetic spectrum is a continuous spectrum, right? The spectrum consists of low frequencies and then radio waves, and then you have the microwaves, the infrared, and then the human visible spectrum that contains the optical spectrum of the color dispersion that we can see with our eyes. And then comes the higher levels, the ultraviolet rays, the X-rays, and then the Y-rays, which are the gamma rays. And then I believe that there's an even higher spectrum level that is never talked about or put on the spectrum chart, which is the etherionic waves, which would hold the highest of any type of frequency wave that we know of. So for this video, we will call the black sun energy the cosmic rays, which is the aether wavelengths that contain the aetherons, the most rapidly moving frequencies in existence. Okay, so from the full range of cosmic frequencies, X-rays, gamma rays, and cosmic rays, they are bent and separated like a prism splits light. So when they meet the ionosphere at the top of the etheric field, these powerful energies become focused and they leave their imprints in the sky, forming the sun and the moon and the luminaries. The moon is the concentrated image of the X-ray part of the spectrum, like the XX chromosomes, symbolizing the feminine energy, showing us the energetic reflection of Earth's plane. And then the sun, on the other hand, is created from the more intense frequencies called the Y rays, the gamma rays, which is kind of like the X and Y chromosomes, representing the masculine energy. Okay, so then the black sun is not a visible body in the sky or in space, but rather it's a hypercentric, transcendental, metaphysical, supermassive implosion point of infinite energy, and it has zero physical magnitude. It resides within counter space, the center dimensionless field that is made up of the aetherons, pure centripetal implosive force. So at the heart of this existence is the dielectric field, the center of counter space, that non-spatial, non-temporal domain that it's not physical, and it doesn't have time or space like we know it. From that hidden center, our three-dimensional spatial world comes into being. What we see and touch is just a visible expression of something deeper and invisible. So the black...
The Book of Enoch uncovers the true origin of demons. When the Watchers, fallen angels, broke God's law and took human women, their children became giants called Nephilim. But when those giants died, their spirits were cursed, trapped between heaven and earth, bodiless and hungry. These spirits became demons, feeding on fear, twisting minds, and corrupting nations. They weren't born in hell. They were left behind here. Save this before the truth is buried again.
The hotel is hell. Jack is in hell. The layout, how that shifts all the time. He walks into Ullman's office. He's in the interior of the building, but there's a window.
It's an impossible window.
It's an impossible window where there should not be a window there with light coming through it, but there is. Feels like everything is shifting. There's a chair in the background when he's talking to Wendy one time that is there and then it's not.
What most would call a continuity error.
But not in this fucking movie.
Right.
Danny almost teleports at one point on his third time on the big wheel. He's in the kitchen and he turns a corner and now he's in the hotel.
And then he sees the twins.
And that's when he sees the twins.
Yeah.
So there's thoughts that maybe Jack died a long time ago, Overlook is hell, where he must repeat the last winter of his life forever. His dream of killing his wife and kids is just an echo of him really killing his wife and kids. Yeah. He technically says, I'd sell my soul for a drink.
And that's when it all kind of starts.
That's when weird things start happening, man.
And then when he leaves, it does a second fourth wall break.
Yes.
Which is my fucking favorite all-time thing in the entire world. He looks in the camera like disdain and looks at the corner of his eye.
It's like a millisecond.
A little tiny second, and it fucking gives me chills every time. I don't know why I love it so much.
The hotel is hell. Jack is in hell. The layout, how that shifts all the time. He walks into Ullman's office.
Yeah, can you imagine? Look at that. They didn't build that back then. That's
Have a
crazy.
look at this occult symbolism on the District Attorney's Office of Colorado. You can see
Nothing weird
pyramid
there.
with the eye, the same on the back of the dollar bill. Again, occult symbolism. But read this message right here. Very interesting. I have been where you fear to be. I have seen what you fear to see. I have done what you fear to do. And all of these things I have done for you. And it says anonymous, no author, just anonymous. But you can see the lion here, and it has a spear through it, a dead lion that's over this monument. Now, what kind of message is this sending to you guys? Let me know what you think all of this means in the
Did you know McDonald's sells 6.5 million burgers every single day? That's nearly 200 million a month. But here's the part nobody talks about. Where are all the cows? Even if one cow gives you 1,000 burgers, McDonald's still needs hundreds of thousands of cows every single month. And that's just them forget about Burger King, Wendy's, or every other restaurant on earth. So where are they hiding all these cows? Massive secret farms? Underground super ranch?
People reading people.
Super Grok, an AI
and
that
bones.
can build entire video games from simple descriptions, and one developer used it to create a working game prototype over a single weekend. Traditional game development requires months of coding, debugging, and iterations.
It's so easy
just
to
get
make
a
games
basic
now.
prototype working,
So
but
if anyone's
Super
out there
Grok
is making
generates
games,
functional games instantly from natural language prompts. The breakthrough comes from Grok 4 Max, described as a coding partner that never gets tired or takes breaks, enabling developers to iterate on ideas instantly without technical limitations. Musk's vision goes beyond single AI assistants to hundreds of specialized AI agents working together. Coding agents write the software, content agents create graphics, and testing agents actually play the games in virtual machines. This represents a fundamental shift from writing code line by line to describing what you want and having AI build it directly, making game development accessible to anyone with creative ideas. The same technology powering Tesla's autonomous systems is being adapted for software development, proving this isn't experimental, but based on mature, tested AI capability.
Sounds pretty good.
It out? It's an ice wall yet? Stick around. If you watch this whole thing, you might just figure it out. Let's first take a walk down memory lane back to 1957 when the Navy went to Antarctica, and what did they find? A never-ending, and I mean never-ending ice wall. And I fast forward this thing here so you can just get an idea of it, but they're panning and panning and panning and flying a helicopter and panning, and they never get to the end because it is an ice wall that surrounds all the known lands. Like I said, never ending. Just keeps going.
Never-ending wall. Right?
You see, these old maps used to show it. This is called it out. It's an ice wall yet? Stick.
Not many people know this, but the opening theme song on every single one of the almost 900 episodes of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was completely different for a very fascinating reason. So everybody knows and loves Fred McFeely, aka Fred Rogers, aka Mr. Rogers, and
yeah, I like Mr. Rogers.
Children's show Mr. Rogers'
He was a Navy
Neighborhood.
SEAL.
But not as many people know that he actually graduated from college with a bachelor's of music and composed all of the music and songs on the show. But Mr. Rogers wasn't just singing to pre-recorded backing tracks on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Every single song was performed live in studio while they were taping. There was an in-studio pianist who performed every song alongside Fred Rogers on the show from 1968 until 2001. And I know what you're thinking. I clickbaited you because technically every song was different because it was being performed live, but that's not even what I mean. It's actually really fascinating. Because Mr. Rogers didn't just get any pianist to perform on the show. He got world-renowned improvisational genius concert jazz pianist Johnny Costa. who was way more famous and way more valuable than to be a performer on a children's PBS show. But he said that he only did it because he was semi-retired and just liked Mr. Rogers. Fred Rogers was such a good guy that he was able to pull a modern-day Beethoven out of retirement to play on a kid's show. But Mr. Rogers made one other smart move. Instead of telling Johnny Costa to just stick to the sheet music and play what he composed, he told him to just go wild with it.
Do it for the ears of a child. I didn't do it this way. I wouldn't do that, so I figured, well. And Fred loved it, and I kept doing it, and the people loved it.
And because Johnny Costa is literally a genius, he played every single iteration of every single song on every single episode of the show completely differently.
You're right.
So I dare you, go watch the opening theme song of any episode of Mr. Rogers'
No, I'm
Neighborhood,
good on all
and
that,
you will
but
realize
that's
that
pretty
they are
cool.
all musically complete.
Yeah, I like how they did that with the Mr. Rogers song. Change it up, keep things fresh every episode. That's pretty cool. I really know that. Find another video here.
Guys, The Simpsons has done it again, this time with Trump. Now, there is a conspiracy that all these celebrities, a lot of politicians, they're all wearing masks. And this has been brought up by a lot of whistleblowers over our time. And The Simpsons is showing you the truth in plain sight, but pay attention to the black hand, putting the mask on, putting the gloves on. Doesn't that look interesting to you? Don't they look a little interesting to you? What do you think's going on here, guys? Why does The Simpsons always predict everything? It's not a prediction, it's an agenda. Our reality is scripted. It's quite literally like the Truman Show. So when they show you things like this, they're just telling you the truth in plain sight. It's all an agenda. This is why all of these things, they always come true in The Simpsons.
I tried to tell you that those old fireplaces wasn't used for burning coal and wood, and you didn't believe me. But when I say I got your ass, oh, I've got your ass. So, this is how the fireplace used to work. There would be a metal plate at the back of the firebox which would reflect infrared rays when the fireplace was heated up. There would also be 2 ether capacitors in the fireplace which provokes eddy currents in the metal frame which transmits them to the metal plate at the back. Eddy currents are current loops formed over conductor surfaces due to changing magnetic flux. They are useful in induction heating, levitating, electromagnetic damping, and electromagnetic braking. So the fireplace and the roof are both connected by metal bondings through the chimney. The whole construction becomes one solid conductor, and then the energy that's gathered from the ether gets converted into heat. In other situations, they even used radium for heating. I guess that's the reason why we're still calling radiators even till this day. I mean, come on, brother. Do you really think they was burning wood and coal in these fireplaces? That's what the savages did when they came along and found these empty buildings, because they didn't know how to use the technology. And the size of the fireplace definitely wasn't built by us. So yeah, I've said this many times before. The eyes are useless when the mind is blind.
What difference does it make? What difference does it make? Yeah.
What difference does it make? I hear that a lot too.
A lot of people.
It does make a big difference.
You can't figure out what difference it makes. If you can't figure out what difference it makes that the people running your world have fucking lied to you over and over your whole life, if you can't figure out that someone lying to you is trying to control you. Suppressing of information, of knowledge, is control. Deception of information and knowledge is a form of control. So what difference does it make? It makes a big difference, because once they start omitting information or lying about information about where you live, they're doing it to control you. Period. Why am I having to explain this to critical thinkers in the
Man, AI's getting pretty good. I don't know, Monarch is... Everybody else is just right.
When this man used his supernatural powers, he could fool anyone. He conjured up a gun and shot the woman. She immediately clutched her bleeding stomach, but in reality the man had simply made a gun shape with his hand, and the woman was completely unharmed. It was all an illusion created by the man. Afterward, the man confidently walked into the bank, trying to cash a $50,000 check. The bank teller thought the amount was too large and took the check to make an appointment. At that moment, the man said, "You made a mistake? This is a $5,000 check." When the bank teller looked at the check again, she found that the $50,000 check had become $5,000. The bank teller apologized for her error and immediately helped him cash it. However, right after the man left with the money, the bank teller discovered the check had turned into a newspaper. She quickly called the police to arrest the man, but the man had already gotten into his accomplice's car and used his supernatural powers again. The police suddenly felt the weather turn cold and gloomy. Suddenly, hail began pelting their car. This unexpected situation made them lose control of their vehicle, and the police inexplicably flipped their car on the highway. Yet at that moment, the sky was actually clear and cloudless. The patrol car slid all the way into a gas station. Back home, he thought he could use his supernatural powers to heal his mother, who was in a vegetative state. When the man's eyes turned white, she was stimulated by his supernatural power. His mother slowly woke up. Seeing this scene, the man couldn't help but shed tears. When this man used his supernatural...
The power of gaslighting.
Meeting with the CEO of her company? They offered me the job.
What are you going to be doing at your new job?
Same thing I was
He had the power to gaslight you.
What the hell, man? You just happen to have a blowtorch with you. I need this for work, man. Ain't got no job.
You're very lucky to make it out that crash with just an injured wrist.
Yeah, no. You know, it's a good thing I have my company car, huh?
But your chart says here you ain't got no job, man.
They hired me out of my job. I will pick you up on my way to work. Now, you make sure that you're wearing a suit, a tie, and a blindfold. Now, Tommy, I didn't waste my mind when I got that job yesterday night, did I? I got a job working with Tommy. Working with Tommy? Yeah. When did you start, Cole? I don't know. Where's the office at, Cole? I don't know. Well, what do you do, Cole? Same thing as Tommy. Look, guys, I wanted to set up a meeting with the CEO of her company.
This is everything you needed to know
That's
about
Tommy
the
do.
Illuminati. So be sure to tap that follow button and buckle up as we delve into the shadows of history. The Illuminati, the name that whispers darkness and light. Born in the Enlightenment's heart in 1776 Bavaria, Adam Weishaupt's mission for the Illuminati was to illuminate the world, to oppose religious influence and prevent state power abuses, and champion equality. Weishaupt's missions and goals seemed to stall during the first years, so he set his eyes upon a new recruitment source, Freemasonry, an already established fraternity with a strong structure and rituals in which he could incorporate into his own degrees. The recruitment seemed to work. He had members who obtained 14 Illuminati degrees, but as the radical ideology and goals began to be illuminated in their minds, this started to dim, and the good men and brothers began to leave. And by the late 1780s, the Bavarian government extinguished their flame completely, and in 10 short years, the fraternity would be gone. Yet their ideas lived on, intertwining with the radical Jacobins, the stormbringers of the French Revolution. These Jacobins would relight the flames of the Illuminati teachings and mix it with their own beliefs of secularism and anti-religious teachings, ultra-extreme patriotism, and radical violent methods to achieve their political ends. Many religious groups, including the Holy Roman Catholic Church, Jesuits, and even Protestants. This is everything you needed to know about the Illuminati. So be sure to tap that follow button and buckle up as we delve into the shadows of history.
Here's the deal with Epstein. They created the character to create blackmail, then used honeypot. What a honeypot mission is, I want to bribe you. So the way I do that is I send in the hot girl. You know, she comes in, the alley cat. Hi, little boy. I heard that your wife and you are having problems. Maybe these can help. If you ever need anything, let me know. And then you, because you don't have morals and you're weak, you fall for it. Okay. Gotcha! Is this you on film? Oh! Now, let's tell you our demands. But to create bribery from children, you're not going to escape Epstein's list. You mock it in the movie Disney's Pinocchio. Look at the pub scene in Disney. We steal stupid little children and we bring them to Pleasure Island. And then he ends it by saying, they don't come back as little boys. You can stick your head in the sand all you want, but it exists and it's real.
You won't believe how they've been controlling you, but I caught them. I caught their hands in the cookie jar. Do you know who that is? Comment below if you think you know, but I'm telling you, you have no idea. But don't cheat. While you're guessing, let me give you some hints. This man put a spell on all of you. You're still under the spell, most of you watching. If you look up the etymology of a spell,
It's Kevin Spacey.
Old English spell, which means a story. So if you have a story or a narrative in your subconscious mind, you're under their spell. He was a governor in Virginia prior to the United States, an elitist that enslaved Africans and Europeans. Oh yes, the Africans and Europeans worked side by side. But then they united in something called Bacon's Rebellion to overthrow the elites. So he creates the White race spell. His name, William Berkeley. He created an unheard identity and put it into law called white people. He told the indentured European servants and enslaved people, for now on you're white, but that means you can't go over there with them and you get privileges now. So he destroyed the movement. This is the race spell, the race story that you believe in your subconscious mind that white and black people exist. And based on that, one group is superior in comparison to the other. Still not convinced you're under this spell? Most of you will call yourself white or black. You will say, my skin is black. Think again. These are just some of the shades of brown. These are some of the shades of brown. These are the shades of different racial groups, from so-called white people to African peoples. Different shades of brown. She's not white. She's brown. Same with her. They got you under that spell. Some of you still struggle. Most so-called races, like racial groups, have more genetically in common than other groups than people within their own racial groups. Think about it. The elites are using this to keep y'all separate. By the way, this doesn't mean that racism doesn't exist. The most dangerous part is they're still using this spell to this day, and it's working. Like Americans when they were from Africa. Despite the fact that we have all the evidence in the world, let me break this down for you. It's a trap. It divides Africans from African Americans. It puts African descendants against the group that has been their closest allies, natives, Mexican, Puerto Ricans, they're all Native Americans, indigenous people, in the organization that he funds. And it's not just them.
So it wasn't Kevin Spacey?
Well, here's the part nobody ever talks about, because here's what happens next. They eat it, they don't die, and in Genesis, God says, and the Lord God said, the man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. Okay, hold the fucking phone. Did you catch that? God literally confirms the serpent was right. Let that sink in.
Relax, you're not gonna die.
Damn it, why are you always ruining my fun?
Why does no one talk about this? Oh,
AI
because
got what he
religion
got
isn't
on
about
that one.
truth, it's
So
about
funny.
control. And don't even get me started how God says, like one of us. Who's the us here? That's a whole other can of worms. Check out my video called I Found All the Hidden Gods in the Bible to have your mind blown even more. So here the so-called deceiver, the serpent, was telling the truth, and God admits it. And his immediate reaction? Lock them out, ban them from the tree of life, make sure they can't live forever now that they've leveled up. Isn't it just a little sus that God is so obsessed with keeping humanity in the dark, away from wisdom and secret knowledge? And that is exactly
They
why
keep 'em off
the
TikTok.
Gnostics said the God of the Bible was hiding something, that he was a fake. In their view, Adam and Eve's eyes being opened was the awakening. According to the Gnostics, when they ate from the tree, they immediately realized the God of the Bible wasn't good, but evil, which is exactly why God didn't want them to have the knowledge of good and evil. It blew his cover, exposed the illusion. Okay, so back to the book of Enoch. He sees the very symbol of humanity's first act of disobedience, which was, again, seeking knowledge. Notice a pattern? Every time humans reach for knowledge, God punishes them. This theme is pounded in our heads over and over again. Seems like God really hates it when we learn stuff. This also highlights the blame on women piece. It's always the woman's fault in these stories. Eve ate first, watchers made known the secrets to women, etc. The New Testament even uses Eve eating first as an excuse to say that women are lesser than men. Pretty fucked up, right? This is all one big story about forbidden knowledge. From Eden's fruit to the Watcher's teachings, it's the same theme on repeat. Someone or something has been fighting to keep humanity in the dark for a very, very long time. So the big question is, what the hell does all this mean? Did this literally happen? Did angels really mate with women and give birth to giants? Did Enoch really get abducted by aliens and given a tour of the cosmos? Okay, Let's talk about the Watchers part and then get to the aliens. Here's my take. The Book of Enoch is an allegory for humanity's awakening.
Let's
and
get to the
forces
aliens.
that want to suppress that awakening. Think about it. The Watchers, the fallen angels, could be seen as symbols of liberating knowledge bringers. In other cultures, we call that Prometheus, the one who stole fire from the gods for humanity, or in
There's no aliens.
Today your mind's going to be blown by breaking this symbol down. This is what we call a complex symbol. Many different symbols used together to create a greater meaning. The first thing we notice is the eagle. The eagle can fly in the air and it looks down upon the earth. It has a higher view of reality. In this degree, it represents a heightened understanding and view of self. They understand their true nature as pure consciousness and the origins of consciousness and the human mind. The eagle is free to fly around and do whatever it wishes, representing freeing the mind from the earthly-based survival low-level consciousness. The eagle is standing on a sword. The sword moves through the air. Air corresponds with the mind. Water corresponds with emotion. Fire corresponds with spirit. And earth corresponds with the physical body. The eagle standing on top of the sword represents control over the mind. The eagle is superior to the mind. The mind does not control the individual at this degree. They have gained self-mastery and power. If you hold a sword, you have power over someone. The eagle's using the sword, representing using the mind and the mind not abusing and using you. This is a symbol of self-control and personal power. The eagle looking to the right is looking into the future. The eagle looking onto the left is looking into the past. This represents analyzing the knowledge of your past and the actions that have led you to this very point.
Guess what time it is?
I want to try
It's
that
time to
out.
build an army.
So fire doesn't have a
You ready?
shadow?
I was born for this. And so were you.
Yeah, I just tried it out. Fire doesn't have a shadow.
Let's go. Guess what time it is?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't
Find that suspicious?
You don't find that suspicious?
No shadow.
You don't find that suspicious?
Did you know the U.S. government told an entire population they could return home, then watch them die from radiation poisoning? In 1946, Bikini Atoll residents were forced to evacuate for nuclear bomb tests. 11 years later, officials declared their island safe and brought them back. But it was all a lie. Within months, children started developing massive thyroid tumors. Pregnant women gave birth to jellyfish-like masses instead of babies. Hair fell out in clumps. Skin peeled away in sheets.
Oh, no.
The government knew the island was still dangerously radioactive. They turned the entire population into human test subjects. Doctors arrived regularly, not to help, but to document the horror. They measured tumors, photographed deformities, recorded every symptom. The Bikini people weren't patients. They were lab rats in the world's cruelest experiment. Did you know the U.S. government told an entire...
Look, I don't know if you love or hate Trump, but you need to watch this video until the end. I'm about 99% sure at this point that Donald Trump is a time traveler. What? This video with so many love, care, respect. Comment below. Let's get it.
To anyone who's deep in the rabbit hole, bro, buckle up, bro, because this shit is
Buckle up, bro.
insane. So, I took some notes here, so I remember what to say. So, in 1893, this guy named Ingersoll Lockwood wrote a 3-part book series, right? The first one is called Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump. The second one is called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. And the third one is called The Last President. All right? In the first book, Little Baron Trump lives in Trump Castle in Germany. And he finds a manuscript by a man named Don Fum that leads to underground tunnels in Russia that have portals to other dimensions. okay? The first 2 books are just about Baron Trump and his dog, like, exploring all these weird dimensions, right? But this is where it really gets weird, bro. In the 3rd book, The Last President, Don Fum uses these portals to become a controversial president who lives on 5th Avenue in New York. And he basically ruins the price of gold and is super controversial and ruins everything. His vice president's name is Pence, bro. That shit is absolutely crazy, but it gets even crazier, bro. Ingersoll Lockwood lived on the exact same street as Nikola Tesla when he wrote this book series. At the very same time that he was living on this street with Nikola Tesla was claiming that he invented time travel. Like, he deadass was saying, I'm about to make freaking time traveling portals and we're about to do it. And a little bit after, he mysteriously dies in a hotel, and all of his blueprints, all of his inventions are in this hotel when he dies. Guess who gets sent, along with the CIA, to pick up his blueprints? John G. Trump. Trump's literal blood uncle, bruh. Think about it, bro. It gets even deeper, though. Werner von Braun, Nazi scientist, by the way, founder of NASA, wrote a book called Project Mars in 1953 about a man named Elon who takes everyone to Mars. The founder of NASA. And now Trump and Tesla are working together. They got space and time. Think about it, 5th Avenue right by Times Square. I'm telling you, dog, this shit is a simulation.
Bro. Yeah, right? Yeah, it's a simulation. This next one going here.
This is 100% proof with scripture that Jesus came back in 70 AD.
I was going to make that exact video, but my bro, User for Jesus, already made it. He crushed the game. He proves with scripture and history that Christ already returned in judgment in the 1st century. And I know this is hard to accept, and for you to believe this, you have to let go of the rapture. You have to let go of futurism. And it's hard for a lot of Christians to do that because we've been believing in the rapture for years, since we were kids. I used to talk about the rapture all the time. I used to debate people on it, defending it, even though back then I had doubts. I would always wonder, why is it that Christ has not returned in 2,000 years? I've even seen debates of Christians and atheists talking about this, and the atheist is like, yeah, Jesus says this generation is not going to pass until all these things take place. So where's he at? Because he was talking to them back then, right? And then the Christian is like, oh, well, you know, this is a hard passage, and it's hard to interpret this, and this is a difficult... Understand that. I just can't understand it. But anyways, go watch my bro's video, the whole thing. He crushed...
You think COVID, just everybody agreed upon it? All the airlines shut down, all the transportation shut down everywhere at the same time or within weeks? That's coordinated efforts of private industry. So it's private industry colluding with private industry. Look at BlackRock. They're the major shareholder of most companies, which means they have a decision-making factor in most of these major companies. You think COVID, just everybody agreed upon it?
Did you know the FBI discovered dozens of gamers trapped inside a video game with their souls being sold to the highest bidder? In December 2023, federal agents raided abandoned subway tunnels beneath
Sword Art
Chicago,
Online.
following reports of missing teenagers. What they found was beyond horrifying. Vincent Chen, known as Reaper, had been running illegal Halo tournaments promising $100,000 prizes. But the Xbox systems were modified with experimental technology that trapped players' consciousness inside the game. Dozens of comatose bodies lay connected to IV drips, their minds fighting endless digital battles. Medical examiners found brain activity patterns that shouldn't exist in living humans.
Let's go check out the For You feed.
running away from it.
What?
Yo, so it's like a deep metaphor. It's like a deep ass metaphor.
Okay.
So the common thing is, if you guys don't know, the story is a snail is supposed to try to catch you your whole life, and if it touches you, you die. And you can get away from the snail. Snail's slow as shit, right? It's gonna take a day or 3 if you like walk away from it,
100%.
let alone like travel somewhere.
Yeah.
But if it touches you, you're dead, especially if it catches up to you. Now, there was a video that came out, and it's like you know those ones that make you think and shit?
Yeah, okay.
So it showed the snail finally coming to you, but when it touched you, it just disappeared.
Wait, what?
And the meaning behind that was your whole life you're running away from something that didn't even matter.
Oh,
and you know why it didn't matter?
Why?
Because you're gonna die anyway, bro.
Bro, that's one of them ones, bro.
Yeah, I was watching that shit at like 2 a.m. like, fuck.
Oh, I saw it. Oh.
Look. Listen to me, all right? Sometimes something happens, and everyone is so reactionary now that like they don't form their opinion authentically. I saw this and I didn't care. And when you don't care, you're able to be at least a little bit closer to objective, right? So I saw what was happening. And they changed the Cracker Barrel logo. If you've never seen the Cracker Barrel logo, get ready.
They changed it back though.
As far as logos go, it does the job. It says Cracker Barrel, and then there's a barrel. And then there's a guy next to the barrel, right? And the guy next to the barrel posted up. The guy next to the barrel is out here feeling himself. He's over here like... And the new logo says Cracker Barrel with really nothing else. We're really like just 2 ovals around it. It is objectively worse. I understand that the people upset are making it about something that I at least don't think it's about, right? Because there were people that saw them get rid of the guy and the barrel, and then they were like, this. The first impression was of someone who had a stroke over it, so that... But people genuinely were like, this is insane! This can't stand! This is white genocide! Listen to me, I'm no expert, and I could be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. But I'm pretty sure that just as many white people are alive after they changed the logo as there were before the logo change. And any people who have sadly passed was incidental. I don't think it had anything to do with the Cracker Barrel logo change specifically. And look, I don't know who this dude was to the, like, I don't know if somebody just drew him or if that's like the founder. I don't know, because admittedly I didn't care enough to get into it. But all I know is that look, I'm not on their side as far as everything they're saying, but this is a worse logo. Like, it just is. They basically did the Washington football team to white people. They just up there saying what it is and not giving us anything else. Nah, it's rough. It really, that's bad. Especially
Have you ever heard the theory how hell isn't actually a physical place, but it's a frequency?
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
So you can imagine heaven is in the sky, but hell is low, underground, right? What does that translate to? High vibration,
low vibration.
Low vibration.
Okay.
Check this out. People on ayahuasca. Now, when they go into their trips and they see all these entities and different demons or whatever interacting with them, they can see what? Good and bad.
You're right.
Hear me out. Ready? Now, in the Bible, when God said, the angels, like the fallen angels fell to earth and they try to trick the humans, this and that, right?
Yeah.
The reason being is they weren't given earth. Adam, humans were blessed the kingdom and earth, right?
Yep.
But they're trapped there somehow where they can still interact with us. And that hell may very well be just the frequency. The frequency of where you are. So depending on if you're on a good frequency, a high frequency, you'll be affected differently. Have you ever heard the theory how hell is?
The infinite monkey theorem. The idea that if you gave a monkey a typewriter and infinite time, it would eventually write Shakespeare. It sounds impossible, but mathematically, it's true. Random typing over infinite time will eventually create every possible combination of letters. That means somewhere in that chaos, you'd find every book ever written. And not just books, but new ones too. Entire libraries filled with meaning, perfect copies of reality, even the story of your life typed out by accident. Infinity is strange like that. With enough time, even the...
Cameras make zero
AI is
sense.
getting
You press
weird,
a button
bro.
and all of a sudden any singular moment in time at any point in space is immortalized in a mere piece of paper. Legit crazy. What's even crazier is they're actually pretty simple. Imagine you want to take a picture of a giant...
The man simply rested his hand on the nearby iron railing. The railing suddenly broke apart, causing him to fall straight down. Right below him was the bullet-making furnace. The man didn't even have time to call for help before he was gradually melted by the molten metal. After going through hundreds of machine processes, bullets made from the man's body were successfully produced. To mourn his death, tens of thousands of workers from the arms factory took to the streets. They were all fully armed, holding various weapons. Even a 90-year-old grandma refused to be left out. Thousands of them fired these special bullets into the sky at the same time. They kept shooting until all their magazines were empty. After the shooting, everyone returned to the factory. At this moment, a man on the roadside was watching the scene, unaware that disaster was about to strike him. An old man told him to quickly hide inside a car, but the man clearly didn't understand why. Still, he followed the advice and got into the car. Then, due to the force of gravity, thousands of bullets that had flown into the sky began to fall. In the next second, countless bullets rained down on the man's car like hail. This gave the man quite a scare. Luckily, he hid just in time. Otherwise, he would have been hit by the bullets himself. Just as he was feeling lucky to have survived, he witnessed something bizarre. The old man who warned him was now chatting with a friend in the street, and the bullets seemed to have a life of their own, automatically avoiding the old man and his friend. Not a single bullet hit either of them. The man...
$800 for the world's strongest charger. I have to buy this?
This is the age of your favorite companies, and I'm older than about half of them. But you know what's really weird is Nintendo is 136 years old, yet video games were invented like 60 years ago. This is the age of your favorite companies, and I'm older than...
According to the Akashic Records,
Nintendo used to make
demons see
puzzles.
humans as a food source. And if so,
They used to make Legos
what
at one
do
point, too.
humans do that feeds them the most? And what do humans do that feeds them the least?
According to the Akashic Records, yes, demonic entities do perceive humans as a form of energetic food, but not in the way physical beings consume physical matter. These beings do not feed on flesh or blood, but on vibrational frequencies, particularly those that are dense, chaotic, and disconnected from source. Here's a detailed breakdown of how this works from a spiritual and multidimensional perspective. Do demons feed on human energy? Yes. In the Akashic view, demonic entities, which are fragmented or fallen aspects of consciousness, feed on fear, shame, addiction, violence, hatred, lust without love, victimhood. These emotions and thought patterns emit a low-frequency field that acts as a kind of psychic fuel for non-physical parasitic entities who cannot generate energy on their own. Just like plants need sunlight, these entities need distorted emotional energy to maintain form and influence. The more a person remains in repetitive trauma cycles, the more energy they emit that can be siphoned. What feeds demons the most? 1. Chronic fear and anxiety, constant fear of death, loss, failure, creates a steady stream of food for lower entities. Media that incites panic, doom scrolling, and conspiracy obsession can amplify this. 2. Unconscious sexual energy, lust without love or spiritual alignment opens portals in the auric field. Pornography, addiction, and hypersexualized dynamics often become feeding grounds. Sex magic done without protection or intention can attract parasitic attention. 3. Shame and self-hatred. These are among the richest energy sources for demonic forces. Inner judgment, body shame, or religious guilt are like gourmet offerings. 4. Violent conflict, abuse, war, gang activity, or even toxic relationships produce trauma waves that feed astral parasites. Bloodshed and suffering release etheric fragments that demons consume. 5. Addictions, substance and behavioral. Alcohol, opioids, and other substances weaken the auric shield, making it easier for entities to attach and feed. Behavioral addictions like gambling or obsessive scrolling also create leakages. What feeds them the least or starves them? 1. Love and presence. High-frequency love, not attachment or codependency, makes the soul luminous and unappetizing to lower beings. Presence equals sovereignty. A fully embodied being is sealed in light. 2. Forgiveness. Forgiving others and yourself clears karmic density and breaks contracts with parasitic energies. It is a spiritual disinfectant. 3. Gratitude and joy. These generate radiant energy fields that are incompatible with demonic feeding. Demons cannot process joy. It repels them. 4. Conscious sexual union. When sex is used for soul merging and healing, it elevates the energy and leaves nothing for dark forces to consume. 5. Fasting and prayer. Done correctly, these practices cleanse auric fields, especially from addictions or attachments. They also fortify the will, making you less susceptible. Why are humans vulnerable? Humans are hybrid beings, part animal, part divine, part starseed. Our emotional range is vast, which makes us spiritually valuable and also energetically unstable when ungrounded. This instability can invite entities who feed off the surplus discharge. When people are disconnected from their spiritual power, their light dims and their auric shields weaken, making them targets. Collective trauma, media programming, toxic food and chemical exposure all play a part. Final note, you are not a victim. From the Akashic perspective, every soul has sovereignty there. These entities can only feed where permission, even unconscious, has been granted. Once awareness returns, contracts can be revoked, energy recalled, and parasitic patterns broken.
If you want to hear the rest of that and more like it, head over to my YouTube channel. That's The Mind of Bazel, where you can hear more conversations like this and many, many more things. Much love to y'all. Peace. According to the Akashic records, do demons see humans as a food source? And if so, what do humans do that feeds them the most? And what do humans do that feeds them the least?
According to the Akashic records, yes, demonic entities do perceive humans as a form of energetic food, but not in the way physical beings consume physical matter. These beings do not feed on flesh or blood, but on vibrational frequencies, particularly those that are dense, chaotic, and disconnected from source. Here's a detailed breakdown of how this works from a spiritual and multidimensional perspective. Do demons feed on human energy? Yes. In the Akashic view, demonic entities, which are fragmented or fallen aspects of consciousness, feed on fear, shame, addiction, violence, hatred, lust without love, victimhood. These emotions and thought patterns emit a low-frequency field that acts as a kind of psychic fuel for non-physical parasitic entities who cannot generate energy on their own. Just like plants need sunlight, these entities need distorted emotional energy to maintain form and influence. The more a person remains in repetitive trauma cycles, the more energy they emit that can be siphoned. What feeds demons the most? 1. Chronic fear and anxiety, constant fear of death, loss, failure. creates a steady stream of food for lower entities. Media that incites panic, doom scrolling, and conspiracy obsession can amplify this. 2, unconscious sexual energy. Lust without love or spiritual alignment opens portals in the auric field. Pornography, addiction, and hyper